Hi everyone. Today we are joined by Vishal Gandhi, a dear friend and someone who is with more than 20 plus years of HR experience, now leading a tech startup. And we hear it from Vishal himself. So thank you so much, Vishal, for joining in today. And let's straight away get into for the audience, especially veterans here today who are not aware about the pulse, what we do. Would you take a couple of minutes to quickly explain about the company and the product?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, and it's a privilege to be here, specifically talking to veterans for that matter. What are we doing at Deeppulse? Very simple. We are trying to help individuals and enterprise manage the personal information with care. What it means is today we as individuals are required to prove ourselves, prove who we are, what we do, where we live, how much we earn, multiple times for multiple transactions. And most of the times we just keep giving our data without any control and without any transparency in terms of how our data being processed, who has access to our data, and so on and so forth. At Deeppulse, we are trying to change that, where we are trying to create a more responsible, trusted, and secure ecosystem by which the individual will be able to share the data in a more secured way. Enterprise will be able to take the data in a secured way and also will help enterprise to comply with Data Protection Act or GDPR requirements that is applicable to them. So in simplest term, we are trying to simplify how identity and information is being managed today by the individuals and by the enterprises.
Got it. Got it, Vishal. And I think a very pertinent problem, and I believe a lot of awareness is well required in this area. Have you seen that as something that you guys have spent a lot of time, both the sides, corporates, industries that you maybe cater to, and also individuals like we give our Aadhaar and PAN, every now and then to so many people.
So you are absolutely right. In fact, it was an eye-opener for us when we started digging deep into the problem statement because the problem is much wider than we thought. Initially, we started with using this as a business value proposition, but I believe this is a much wider purpose and has much wider impact on the society. You're absolutely right. Individuals do not take their personal data seriously, or they do not care about who they are sharing the data and why they are sharing the data. Specifically in emerging markets like India or any many other markets, people take their personal data for granted, and the outcome of that is the increase in the frauds that are happening around us. So you are absolutely right when you say that do we see this as a big problem? Absolutely. We see this as a big problem in the market today, but we see this more as an opportunity to also change the fabric of the society, where we want people to be made aware of the importance of protecting their data because that's the most important currency that they have,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
If trust is the first element for any relationship. Credibility establishes trust. And for credibility, you need to protect your data. You have seen situations in India where even a pani puri wala or rickshaw wala will have crores, transaction of crores under their name without they having clue.
Yeah.
And this is a classic example where they would have shared their PAN card with someone without knowing why, and this is what is happening with them, and they get impacted. So you are right. There is a lot of work that needs to be done, but it is also an opportunity to create a safer society.
Got it. Got it. Any specific industries or sectors that you are targeting, maybe as a first place to go?
Yeah, yes, we are. Employment background verification is one sector that we are targeting because it is where background verification is commonly known. Um, And the second thing that we are targeting is hospitality, because there is an enhanced focus on verification that is required when the guests are allowed to check into the hotels. But the solution that we are building would cut across anything and everything for that matter. Whether you want verification for the domestic helps that you have, drivers, gig workers, tenants that you allow to be in your society and so on and so forth. So the application of this would be huge. But at this point in time, in phase one, our focus is predominantly on the employment side as well as the hospitality side.
Got it. Got it. All right. So that gets to my next question. So I know you have keen interest and focus in terms of hiring veterans, ex-servicemen from Tri Services. How do you see this fitment, and why you believe it is the right place for the veteran talent to come and find the second innings?
Look, if you see what we are doing at Deeppulse, we are helping individuals to become responsible, but we are also committing to securing their data. We are trying to create a trust network that can enable the exchange of data in one of the in the most secured form. Now, to do that, two fundamental foundation that Deeppulse will have to work towards is trust and integrity. And I
Mhm.
can't think of anyone else than the veterans who carry this on their shoulder. So it's a perfect marriage between people who have these two elements as part of their DNA and two things that we want to build Deepulse on. And I don't think there can be any better marriage than these two, because what veterans can bring, both in terms of the discipline, in terms of integrity, in terms of
Yeah.
taking an approach which is a mission-led approach where we want to bring, build a safer society. I can't think of a better talent pool than veterans to go to.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely understand and absolutely resonates with the audience here today. So I'm sure they must be looking out for opportunities and collaboration that we can look forward to. I think next, what we want to maybe quickly touch upon, Vishal, would be the very exciting entrepreneurship program that you guys have launched, and it is something I think fits into your ecosystem as a long-term strategy. So if you could talk about that, what you guys are thinking on those, at what stage is it? Is it launched? More details on those.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that when we discussed and you said, look, Vishal, this is more for employment and so on and so forth. Yes, we will certainly provide employment opportunities, but what I also really wanted to do is to give opportunities to people who want to be entrepreneurs, and go to the market with a mission to create more employment, right? And that is how we can grow together. Now, the entire program is built keeping in mind that we will have a lot of um, a lot of individuals who have aspiration to become entrepreneurs but never got an opportunity to become entrepreneurs. So they will certainly need handholding in terms of what is required to set up a business, handholding in terms of how do I go about selling to the customers, how do I reach out to the customer, will I get some kind of funding to support the business initially or not? So we will certainly answer most of these questions, if not all, to help individual transition from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur. Personally, for me, it is super exciting because I'm on a startup journey. I know it takes a lot of grit, it takes a lot of determination to become an entrepreneur. But I think veterans are already ready. They are already ready for it. The kind of hardships that they have seen, the kind of patience that they have, the kind of resilience that they have, they are trained to become entrepreneurs. They just need that support and push to make it happen, and that is what Deepulse wants to enable, to make more entrepreneurs with an expectation that if I can create say 5 opportunities, and if I have 50 entrepreneurs through this pool and they can create 5 opportunities, we create 500 opportunities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exciting, super exciting. And we look forward to seeing this come to life, and obviously more and more veterans benefiting from it. Um, I think with that, my last question, Vishal, to you would be, we spoke about how veterans as a talent pool you see as a good fitment. But we also know the different environment that they come from, and there are challenges as they transition into corporate life. So, in terms of transitionary support or training, do you see anything that you all are doing or building on that could further make it a seamless process for them?
No, absolutely. So every possible support that is required for people to transition from one life to another life will be given. And I can tell you with my personal experience coming from a corporate life to an entrepreneur life is not easy. And I have learned firsthand. So, we will certainly have a structured program in place that will help entrepreneurs to understand how do they transition from being where they were to, to thrive in a new environment. I'm not even saying survive. They know how to survive for that matter, but to thrive in a new environment, they will certainly need, some kind of push from themselves to, or from themselves to understand what it takes to sell, what it takes to run operations, what it takes to be part of a normal society, right? So whatever support that is required to help them understand the business, help them understand the problem statement, help them sell, help them comply with the regulatory requirement of being an entrepreneur, all of that support will be provided to them.
Got it. Got it. Because that's, I think, going to be very critical as many make that transition, especially something like a startup. It's while exciting, it's also a very scary proposition for many of us. So I think that will definitely help. I think as we wrap up, Vishal, I just want to maybe ask you any parting thoughts for veterans or the audience today who is listening to you today, in terms of what they can expect in the next 3-5 months. Anything that you'd like to share as we close on?
Yeah, I don't think I'm qualified enough to tell veterans what to expect, what not to expect. They have seen a very different and exciting life than us. But certainly, I can say that, as you rightly said, the life of an entrepreneur is not easy, and but it is super exciting. If the first 12 to 24 months are the most difficult ones, but consider this as your training, your training phase when they moved into a defense. The first 12 to 24
Yeah.
months, I'm sure that there is always that thought process, why did I decide to come here? Because this is difficult, right? And that is what the startup is. But once you sail through that period, I think, and then look back, you create legacy. You create something long term for you and for many others who join you in this journey. And for me, that is the reason why I'm keen to bring this entrepreneurship program, not to create more employees, but to create more entrepreneurs that would be beneficial for them, for many others in the market, as well as for the society. And that is why I'm genuinely excited of this program. I'm genuinely excited of participating in this forum. And I'm looking forward to inviting and inducting many veterans in this program.
Wonderful. So super excited about this, Vishal, and I think that goes back to our own association and the strategic partnership that we guys have in place, because the vision and the mission is very clear. Super thrilled to be partnering with you on this, and thank you so much for making time today. It's been a pleasure.